Hey guys, so my first attempt to record my first pouring, I didn't realize the video format stuff. So I am now have things fixed on the recording end of things, and this is going to be my second attempt to do a pour. So the other one, it turned out which that's what you expect for a first time. I found out with these canvases, which this is the cheapest to get for me to experiment with. I didn't want to buy expensive to experiment with. But when this backing gets wet, it peels up. And so my one side of the canvas peeled up. So that might happen with this one as well. That's all right. These are all experimental. I just know to go with the regular stapled in canvas next time that are on frames and kind of go from there. I also, these are my paints from yesterday, and they seem to be wet enough still, pourable enough still. So I'm going to go with them. And I'm putting those to the side because those are the dirty cups, and I'm letting them dry and then I can reuse them. When I put my black background on last time, I poured it on and then tried to scrape it with this. It's got some extra paint on the back. And it didn't spread very well. So I'm going to use a brush this time. Since it's the base coat, I'm not worried about brush strokes, but I will watch out and try to make sure I don't get any of the bristles in the canvas. And I'm going to try not to make it as wet as I did yesterday because the other paints are going to make it pretty wet. And I want to try to avoid the peeling again. So we'll just brush this on real quick. And the paint puddles on the red canvas, on the red vinyl, are still wet. So I'm going to try to avoid my knuckles hitting those to try to avoid contamination moving forward. Okay. I got some bubbles in there. I did find my butane, which I couldn't find for my first round. I remembered picking it up upstairs, and I remember that my intent was to bring it downstairs here to the basement, but then I couldn't remember where I put it. And it was actually on a table that has two shelves, or well, it has a shelf underneath and then the top. And I had put it on that shelf part, so it was hidden kind of from me. But I found it. We're good. So let's torch the base to get rid of some of the bubbles. This is my first time doing this. All right, that seems to be working. As far as my mixes, I keep forgetting you guys don't know about some of this because I went over it in the first one. I'll get the exact color names for you. Those bubbles. I'm trying not to hold it on one spot very long. I think there's some bubbles I can't get. I'll just have to leave it. There we go. So my colors that I picked, I didn't go with a high-end paint, but I've seen a lot of the folks on YouTube using this, and that's what inspired me to try this. Is I got fascinated watching the pours on YouTube. But I've got Artist Loft, and for all of the paints. The black is Artist Loft. In fact, it's Mars Black. And then Artist Loft Copper, which is my one metallic. I tried to do colors that I thought would be interesting blending together. I've got Artist Loft Sap Green. I don't know, the webcam is probably not focusing very well, so I apologize if you can't read them. Artist Loft Light Magenta. And Artist Loft Cerulean Blue. And then the colors are mixed with Liquitex Medium Pour, Pouring Medium. Sorry, still learning all the terms. I got the medium at least. And then yesterday I'd done the black with the Liquitex, but today I'm just trying it with Elmer Glue and seeing how that goes. Since I'm using it as a base, I'm not really predicting anything with that, but thought I'd give it a try. All of my paints, let's see, the colors are 1 to 2.5 ratio, and then they were still too thick, so I put some water in with them. And so the mixing I'm still trying to get used to. The amounts I'm still trying to get used to, which is why I have so much left over from yesterday. But let's see. I think we'd like to do copper on the outside edge. So that's going to be the last one to pour. In the middle, I think I'd like to have blue. I'm also trying to figure out the best ratio for when pouring these into the pour cups, because I did have some problems with muddying, and I know that just takes time to try to figure that out for the most part, and making sure your paints are correct ratios. The main muddying was with the green, and that was the only one I had not put water in, but I did put water in it today to try to make it the same consistency as the others. The pink is really powerful, so I'm going to try not to do too much of it. So cerulean blue, copper, whatever the pink was. I can't remember names. Sorry, guys. The sap green. And I had problems getting the green showing up, so I'm going to try a little bit more of that. Do I have any black left? Not much. We don't want a whole lot anyhow, because black is overpowering. Let's go with the blue. And copper. I'm going to go with some more green. Yesterday I tried to keep the same patterns, but I don't think that worked very well, so we're going to switch it up a little bit. Try some pink. I think I put too much pink in. You guys can't quite see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I don't have the best setup. I'm trying to talk my way through it so you know what I'm doing. Let's do some more green. I may be putting too much green in, whereas yesterday you couldn't really see the greens very well. Let's do some copper. I'm pouring down the side of the cup to try to keep them from mixing too much. One of the things I do want to try is a dirty pour. And that, I believe, it doesn't matter if you just pop it into the cup or not. Let's do a little black. I just put blue in. Let's do the black now. A little bit of it. And let's finish with copper. I'm putting a lot on the end of that because I know some of it's going to go off onto the edge anyhow. Okay. Let's try this again. We're doing it as a straight pour just because that's the basic and I'm just trying to get used to things right now. As I get used to the straight pour, then we'll do ring pours and dirty pours and flip cups and all that. Well, this is a dirty pour. It's a dirty straight pour. Still learning all the terminology. But it's a dirty pour because all the colors are in one cup, I believe. That's why it's called that. I think if I did the straight pours, I pour the different colors separately directly onto the canvas, that would be different. That'd be like a clean straight pour. I don't know. But we're learning. All right, here we go. And I do have it on a cake turntable so that I can turn to try to spread it at first, and then I think my paint's too thick, and then I will do the sifting from side to side to spread it out. I'm still not getting my paint consistency right because it's muddying still. We'll see how it turns out though. I do have some clumps in there too, I'm noticing as they pour out. I think it's clumps. Might not be. It dripped a little bit. That's all right. I'm not worried because the colors are going to spread anyhow. So, I didn't quite do it even. And it's not quite even on the spinner either. So it's going to spin out funny. But that's all right. I can still spread it. Trying to spin it till it's out to the edge, and then I'll lift and turn. All right, we'll go ahead and lift and turn. I think I did too many layers. So we'll go ahead and finish taking it out to the edge there. Yeah, my paint's way too thick because it's barely moving. Sorry, you're not going to see this part very much. I apologize. Yeah, it's starting to move now, only because I've got it almost vertical. Bring it back to the middle. And now I'm going to go to this side. Again, I've got it basically vertical to try to get it moving. The blue shows up well. I'm muddying the other colors. So I got to figure that out. I may need to watch some more videos. And we are to that edge. So now we're going to this edge. Whoops. Try not to dip it in the puddles that are already on there. I'm not worried about taking it over the edge because of the fact that the paper curls, even though that's part of the exciting part. I'll work on that as I get canvases that aren't quite as prone to peeling. Oh, it's really slow. I'm so sorry. I'll speed this part up. Oh, I forgot to do the torch before I started moving it, which is probably a good thing I didn't, because it would dry the paint up a little bit more anyhow. I'll go ahead and put this down. Well, guys, I'm not liking this. I actually like my pour from yesterday better. Again, this is part of the process and figuring it all out. So I'm actually going to scrape this piece and reuse the canvas and go from there. And it might be the colors that I'm using is the reason why I don't like the pours. I'll take a close-up picture with the phone so you can see that. Just so you can see it. I'm not liking this though. So I've got to figure out my ratios, I think. And what I probably need to do is throw out, I don't have much left. The pink I have a lot left, but the others are almost empty anyhow. So I'll throw those out and try again with the mixtures and everything. And go from there. And I do incinerate my paper products. I don't know how good incinerating acrylic is. I'll look that up before I burn them. But I plan on burning the paper cups so that there's less trash. And we're going to reuse this canvas. Okay, guys, we are back for take 2. We are going to try this again. I've scraped the first take off, and I've done new mixtures. And so we're going to see if this works any better. Again, it also might be my colors and the combination of how I'm pouring them into the cup that doesn't work as well. So we will see about that. I want to end with some black and copper in the cup, in the middle. It's going in the cup. Proves I can't do 2 things at once. Let's do some blue with that. And I tried my best to get everything the same consistency. So we will see how that turns out. Let's do some pink. Actually, let's do some green and then some pink. I'm trying not to do too many layers this time as well, because I think that was destroying some of it. And I know you can't see me pouring into the cup. I apologize for that. I'm trying not to keep it symmetrical. I'm trying to do different color orders. This is the last bit of blue. And I just dripped it into the black because I'm not being smart. Let's do the rest of the green. I did smaller batches this time. I'm hoping that helps. I have a feeling I'm still going to have problems because as I'm pouring these, they seem to have different consistencies, which was not intended. Okay, that's about half a cup. I don't think that's going to be enough though, so let me do some more. I've learned it's always good to have too much paint. Okay, that's it for the green. I might have put too much pink in there. Pink is overpowering, at least in my tape you guys did not get to see. Whoops, the stick fell. Didn't damage anything though. Let's see, let's do copper. And let's do black. I'm doing a lot of the black because that's going to be on the outside edge. We'll see if I mix these any better. It's a lot of layers, but we'll see. It's spreading better. Looks like there's still some muddying. Okay. Now, trying to keep my sleeves up. It's not working too well. Spread it out a little bit by spinning it. Not spinning evenly, but that's okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Bubbles. Let's go ahead and get that before I go any further. I see them popping. So that's good. I know not to get it too close, so I'm trying not to. I can see some more bubbles underneath, but I can't pop them right now. Let's do at least one more spin. I'm trying to get it out to the edge. And then we'll tilt. Close enough. A little bit of sticking. So we're going to tilt to the side. That drip in the middle looks funny. Still not very thin, and part of my problem might be I'm in my basement, which is not heated right now. It's probably high 50s down here, which is great for hot flashes, but not so great for paint. I think I did better on the contrasting on this one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna get it closer to me here. You'll at least get to see it going down to the edge there. And it's pouring off. All right. Back to center. Let's go down this way. And this straightens out some of those lines dripping off. And actually, once I get everything tilted and back to center, I'll give it some more spins just to try to smooth things out. Oh my gosh, this is taking forever. I know it's not supposed to be fast, but it's supposed to be faster than this. Jiggle it a little bit. Okay. And back to center, which is going to take forever. I'm already tilting it, just so you guys know that. Trying to get some more color up in that other area. Part of my problem is I didn't use enough paint. I thought I was making too much, but I'm not making enough. So, all right, let me get it back to center. We'll spin it some. Whoops, I don't have it centered on the cake spinner. And I'm spinning it fast to get the centrifugal force going. Oh, I just spinned it off the cake powder, the cake thing, cake spinner. Let's try. Those leaves are falling. All right. Do I have any more black left? Not much. I think we'll have to make some more black. Let's do that real quick. I may fast forward through this part. Oops. I may have made this too thin. We will see. All right, let's see if that was enough to fix things. This. I got some on the edges. Some of it's not on the edges. I don't have a good thing for swiping, so just do this. Do some stippling. Just trying not to get any paint on the bottom, but we are going to have problems avoiding that. All right. That's not smoothing out. I'll have to pick it up. Oops. Okay, well, I know to do more paint next time because I still have some creases where it didn't cover very well. And I'm not going to waste doing another batch of black because the colored paint is barely moving. Again, I think part of my problem is it's so cold here in the basement. But let me get one glove off. Let's pop some more bubbles. Let's see if I want that. Oh, actually, there's a whole bunch popping. Trying not to hold it too long in one place. I do think the colors did better this time. So we'll just have to wait and see how this dries, kind of go from there. I've got my phone that I'll also video, which you guys can see here, just to give you a better up close look. The colors are not coming up very well. I'm going a little fast, I realize. I do kind of like that in the middle, the drip in the middle. Since the universe is kind of wonky anyhow, I think that looks cool. But let's see, so you can see I've got divots where the black didn't cover completely. So this won't turn out that well, but since this is on cardboard, here we go. Just trying to let it refocus. There's from that angle. I think my phone just died, which means I don't have that video for you guys now. Sorry. We'll see how this goes. Since this is cardboard, I'm not going to worry about trying to scrape it and use it again. The piece isn't wonderful, but it's not horrible either. So we'll see how it dries and we'll go from there. Thank you for joining me on my second attempt at acrylic pouring. Thanks, guys. Bye. So I lied. I'm going to do one more. I've got almost a full cup of the old paint. So I'm going to do a flip cup pour and just see what happens since the paints are different consistencies and different mixes. I think it'll be interesting what will happen. It may be a disaster, but if I don't film this, it'll be beautiful and I'll have no evidence of it on video. So I put the old one down on some cat litter boxes on the floor. It's a concrete floor. It's not a finished floor, so I'm not too worried about things. Hold on a second. So here's the cup. It's almost full. So let's see how this turns out. And I think I forgot to tell you guys, these boards are 12 by 16. It's not quite in the middle, but that's okay. I think there's enough paint that'll cover the whole thing, so I won't have to worry. It might be a little slow, but we'll see and kind of go from there. I tried to level the table because concrete floors, you know, are not level. It does lean towards this way a little bit, as you can see from these puddles, but not too bad. So I'm not going to mess with the leveling. None's seeping out the bottom of the cup, so you know it's not that thin. It may be a little too thick to do this. But I think I've given it enough time for any air bubbles to get to the top. We'll see. Hold your breath. That's definitely interesting, isn't it? I'm not worried about the drips because I think they are going to give some character to this. It does flow faster than my other one was. I don't know if that's good or bad. And so far, I'm liking this a lot better. Let's get back to center a little bit. Sorry. This is a big table, and I know I keep taking it away from the viewfinder of the webcam. I'm actually liking this better than the straight pour. The colors are muddied, and that's because the paints are different thicknesses and all that. But I still think this is better than my straight pour. Let's get the corners. I should have looked for something to be able to swipe this with. I forgot to do that. Because you know I'm going to need some swiping. And the back of the canvas is probably going to peel because I am taking this over the edges, and so it's going to be dripping down the back. And you can see where the first time I filmed, all the paint got underneath, and I ended up having to peel the canvas off of the cake spinner. My sniffling and everything is sinus infections. It's not coronavirus, so we are good there. Okay, got that corner. Bring it back to middle. Well, I've already got some drips over there. Let's see if I can get the other two corners or not. And I'll probably speed this up because it's slowing down now. Let me go get that cardboard so I can swipe. I'm going to have to peel that off the cake spinner also. Actually, let me get the excess off my gloves. Try to keep from transferring too much paint everywhere. This is just old pajamas I'm wearing. All right. Here we go. Just a cardboard backing. I was going to burn it, but we'll use it first. Try not to contaminate. Whoops, I didn't do that right. Try not to do it too much. Shoot. Let's do that. Now let's try to swipe. Here's the other end. That paint I put on that corner is just too old. Come back here. Let's get some of this paint. Okay, that worked better. Let's see if I can fix this edge. You know what I'm going to do? Probably going to end up ruining this whole thing. That didn't work either. Sorry I quit talking. I was concentrating. All right, let's try to even that out a little bit by spinning. And it's too thick right now. That's not going to work. Okay. Well, let me go ahead and torch it, get the bubbles out. You see the bubbles popping. This may turn out to be a little textured. But I think we will try this again because I like this method a lot better than the pours. And kind of go from there. And we have learned that I'm not good at swiping, so we will not try that for a while. I think some of those spots are just lumps, not bubbles. Okay. Thanks, everybody. That was part 2. I'll keep filming these if you guys want me to, as you see all my mistakes. Thanks for watching. Bye.